It looks like we're gonna find out why Thor was crying because it's being reported that we are officially getting a Thor 5 in the MCU. And it's funny because about a week ago, it was why is Thor dying back to why is Thor crying. But on top of that, we got little hints and teases of what the story could be about, as well as my own personal theories. So let's get into everything we know about Thor 5 in the MCU, because me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. And man, you know what? Boom! You looking for this? Because according to extremely reliable industry insider Daniel RPK, he is reporting that Thor 5 is in the works at Marvel Studios. Which, I'm not gonna hold you, feels like the third or fourth time that they've reported that a Thor 5 is in the works. So nonetheless, I trust Daniel RPK. But there were a couple more interesting details provided. One of those pieces of news being that Taika Waititi will officially not return to direct Thor 5. And I'm not gonna hold you, he went into the kitchen for Thor Love and Thunder and burned that bitch to the ground because that was horrible. But I do want to give him his flowers because he did help revitalize the Thor character, making it possible for there to be a Thor 5. And even though I'm not a big fan of the over-the-top silliness of both of these movies, with Thor Love and Thunder just veering off the fucking tracks, I'm not gonna sit here and act like he didn't cook up some special scenes in both of these movies. Even Thor Love and Thunder had Gore the God Butcher despite his lack of butchering gods. That whole scene in black and white, but nonetheless, you're out of there. Which brings me to some possibilities on who can be the new director and who I personally would want to be this new director, which I said in my last video on the whole Thor matter. And either one of these options is going to bring a much more serious tone to Thor, which I think is desperately needed. Specifically, I really hope they just capture the tone of Thor in Infinity War, because to me, that's the best interpretation of Thor in the MCU. It's not even close. Just the perfect balance of comedy and seriousness and aura forming. Option number one could be Sam Hargrave, who directed the Extraction movies that Chris Hemsworth stars in. And funny enough, he actually started off as Chris Evans' stunt double and was also a stunt coordinator in a bunch of MCU movies before ultimately becoming a director. And I gotta be honest with you, his one-shot takes in these movies are so I would definitely like this. I'm just gonna throw one out there that would definitely not happen, but I would love to see it. Could you imagine a Zack Snyder's Thor movie? I'm just saying. But who I want, man, fuck that. Who we need to direct Thor 5 is George Miller. He's one of my favorite auteurs working today. I just love his visual language. His visual style is so dynamic. And at least in my opinion, in Furiosa, he brought out an Oscar-level performance in Chris Hemsworth that could be translated into Thor's character in the next movie. Obviously not being a fucking psychopath. But it also helps that there's been reports that George Miller has met with Kevin Feige about directing Thor 5, with Chris Hemsworth himself being the one that set up the meeting. And it also helps that they're both from Australia, mate. Could you just imagine a Thor 5 with the visual aesthetic of George Miller? Now, another key piece of information that was revealed, which leads into my theories on what the story could be about, is the fact that Marvel Studios wants to release this film as a part of the MCU's next saga. So this means after Doomsday and Secret Wars, which I find very interesting because there was a report from the Cosmic Circus, who are very reliable. Marvel Studios wanted to give Chris Hemsworth's Thor a proper send-off in an epic way in these next two Avengers movies, which also added fuel to the fire of why people thought Thor was dying. Chris Hemsworth decided to post a tribute to his time as Thor for the past 15 years on all of his various social media platforms, with this same caption in all of his posts: "Playing Thor has been one of the greatest honors of my life. For the last 15 years, I've held Jonathan and then Stormbreaker as the God of Thunder. But what made it truly special was sharing it with all of you. Your passion, your cheers, and your love for this character have meant everything to me. Thank you for making my journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe unforgettable. Next up, Doomsday." No, on the surface, he could just be celebrating the fact that it has been 15 years since he was first cast as Thor. I think that definitely makes a lot of sense. Because the way Thor Love and Thunder ended, there are some breadcrumbs that we can pick up on, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to. There's still the fact that Thor is now the father of Gore's daughter, Love, who is an original character. She ain't in the comics or nothing. And is also the actual daughter of Chris Hemsworth in real life, so that's cool. And you know, there's this post-credit scene of Hercules, which I hope they do not pick up on, because listen, I would like to see Hercules. I just don't know if I want to see Brett Goldstein, who's hilarious, funny, that super over-the-top comedic vibe that Taika Waititi had, in a George Miller or Sam Hargrave or more serious toned MCU movie. Like, I just don't see it. We could just sweep this under the rug and be like, that never happened, for real. But I do want to acknowledge that could definitely be one way this story plays out, with a battle of the gods, or maybe even like a Mortal Kombat style Thor Contest of Champions. Again, I mean, it would kind of be a retread of Thor Ragnarok, but for the entire movie, sign me up. I personally would love to see them try to go down the route of the unworthy Thor, which is just such a brutal and mature storyline that makes me convinced that they will not ever adapt it. And they've already done the whole he's unworthy, now he's worthy again thing twice. But I'm here to say, third time's the charm. It would also be the perfect opportunity to finally introduce Beta Ray Bill, bro. Come on, man. You've been teasing it since Thor Ragnarok. There was rumors that he could be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Get him in the MCU now. I need my horse face man in the MCU so I can see that horse cotton. My bad. Moment of weakness. We move. I mean, we even got legendary actor with a more legendary voice, Keith David, saying that he would love to play Beta Ray Bill in the MCU, so sign him up. And again, I just love the relationship between Beta Ray Bill and Thor in that unworthy Thor storyline. And a lot of people don't know this, but he's actually the true wielder of Stormbreaker. So he could go up to Love and be like, give me that shit back. And Thor teach him how to play with Axis. And you could be planting the seeds of that eventual Annihilators movie that has been rumored as well, which, by the way, I need to make a video on this. We already got Adam Warlock. Shit, Star-Lord will probably be a part of the Annihilators. Finally introduces Norrin Red, bro. If we get Gladiator in live action, I'm gonna bust. Shit, if you want to get to more cosmic level Thor, Donny Cates' run, which I need to reread, by the way. I remember this being pretty damn good. This could also be a backdoor way to get the Eternals back into the MCU, having Thor fighting these Celestials and shit. Maybe Galactus returns too, because if you know anything about that Donny Cates run, you know just how cosmic, galactic, god, celestial, primordial beams it gets. Maybe we finally get the Black Knight introduced. Maybe we get Harry Styles as Eros, who's Thanos' brother, and the fucking ugliest looking CGI fucking creature Pip. Fuck, no, never mind. No, we don't want that. One thing I don't want, and this might upset some people, is I don't want Loki in Thor 5, bro. Let him finally rest. This man is about to go through 3 different fucking character arcs. Now, don't get it twisted, because when we get this reunion in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, it's gonna feed the plants around my apartment complex with all my tears. But like, just let them have their little reunion in Avengers Doomsday. But let's leave Loki alone after Doomsday, bro. It's over. He's done all he can. Love how Loki was not lying when he said, I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again. I mean, the sun quite literally shined through Thor in that movie. And I also love how in the opening of Thor Love and Thunder, he's staring at the sun, shining on him again. So is that why Thor's crying? Because he had to watch Loki die again? No, I really hope it's not just this, because, I mean, it would be funny, but like, nah. I need something a little more emotionally impactful than this. But dog, how many people can Thor lose? When he said, besides, what more could I lose? I didn't realize the universe was gonna say, we're gonna give you a whole bunch of shit just to take it away. Again! Like first, he don't go for Thanos' head. They start fat shaming him in Endgame.
Just let me do it. Just let me do something good, something right. Look, you're in no condition. What do you think is coursing through my veins right now?
Cheese whiz?
Let's please get him back to being a badass fucking god of thunder. Hold on now. Wait a minute. I might have just found our winner. Could you imagine them adapting the Siege storyline? Thor defending his newfound home on Earth? Because he's up in space doing God knows what, raising love. Defend your home, brother. I'm not gonna hold you. The Allfathers are looking down at Thor like, yeah, your time is almost up, buddy. I can't believe they're really about to kill Thor. I can't believe they're about to kill Thor again. But could we get the reverse effect of Avengers Infinity War with Thor getting packed up in Avengers Doomsday? Besides, he's got to go to Valhalla. He's got to go see his best buddy Heimdall. He's got to go link back up with Jane. But also so he can go see his mother Frigga again. His father Odin. His sister Hela is gonna be looking up at them like, why am I not? Should have had someone that executes their vision better. No, Thor, don't go to the light. No, I can't take this no more. Stay with me, stay with me. But part of the journey is the end.
What more could I lose?
But either way, it looks like we're officially getting a Thor 5 in the MCU, which is duh. What do you think about this news that we're getting a Thor 5? What do you think about my theories? What are some of your theories? Drop a comment down below. And as always, like and follow up more. And if you want to find out all the latest tea and news about Avengers Doomsday, the Fantastic Four First Steps, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and every single upcoming MCU project, click the link above. Check out all the videos on my channel because I am posting videos daily, breaking it down for you guys, trying to have some fun because I live vicariously through your guys' opinions and love. And honestly, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm happy that you guys take the time out of your day to like, follow, subscribe, comment, just interact with me. Truly, nothing brings me more joy in this life. So thank you all so much. Hope you're having a good day. You deserve it. You matter. I love you. See you in the next one.